Team, I've got nothing for this weekend. Um, so, right here is where the car sat for, I will say, upwards of 95% of this whole track weekend, and I think that's even a low estimate, like 99%. It has been extremely frustrating, and it all started on Friday night, or Friday afternoon, I should say, when I was going to the gas station to fill it up. I was gonna put, pump ethanol directly into the tank and then fill up another jug. But as I was traveling down one of our main roads, and this isn't something I've shown you yet, and I doubt you'll be able to see it if I even do. Oh well, I've shown pictures of them, but actually you can because I can get under there. But as you can see, I've got those bungs there. They're over here too. Boom, right there. But that bottom one right there, conveniently, that's like the only one that I can see. Sorry, drop the camera. That is the only one that I can see from the ground when it's not lifted up or anything like that. And the only way I saw the four of those was because I put the camera ding underneath the car. But anyway, I torqued them down. But regardless of that, when I was driving down one of our main roads, um, one of the bungs fell out, and it happened to be that um, lower one on the passenger side. And all I heard driving down the road was a really loud clunk under my car, and metal on metal, so it was hitting the exhaust and whatnot, and then out onto the road. And I was like, "What the heck was that?" And then my AFR values started to go crazy. Um, so I pulled over as soon as I could, and that's when I started investigating. And all the bolts were in the rest of the exhaust. It was all fine. Gave one last final try at it, and I ended up finding the one bung that was left open, so it was letting in more air than needed. But kind of strange because it brought it up to stoic for 93, which was kind of funny. But I had a little bit more ethanol in it than 93 at the time. So anyway, I did that, and then got to the track, and all was fine until I um, popped the trunk, and I will also show you this. I went to tech, got popped for these guys. So apparently my harnesses were wrong. I had the roll right here. I had to redo the harnesses, put them through the metal plate right here one more time, and then wrap them underneath. That passed the inspection. And to do the fuel pumps, I also had to undo uh, the surge tank, which is still, strangely enough, sweating fuel. So I'll have to figure that out. I'm not sure what that is, but that didn't come undone, which I was happy about. Now, the part that upset me was the fact that oh boy, the entire weekend I was fighting water uh, water leaks. So first started off when I went to tech. Thankfully, I guess it wasn't doing it at the time, but when I got back from tech is when I noticed it, or I started it and I looked around and I noticed a giant pool of stuff, clear liquid, aka water, coming from the driver's side of the car, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" So I stopped the car immediately, and just like a river of water was flowing out of the car. And so obviously I couldn't make that next session. Now to rewind, because of the problems on Friday night, I was super delayed. I was planning on leaving on Friday night, and instead I ended up having to leave early on Saturday morning. So I went to bed way, way late. Survived on 3 hours of sleep yesterday, and on that 3 hours, I also had to fix the car and whatnot. So um, because of the fact that I found a parking spot late and couldn't get everything put together, I could not make the first session. Second session I missed because of the lower part of the radiator hose, where the radiator hose and the radiator connect. That was where the leak sprang. I thought I tightened the clamp as tight as I could. I wish I could show you, but I'm not here. I chose to do this at VIR so that I actually had some evidence that I was here. So, bam, like I don't know who has a giant farmhouse like that and then cars driving in the background, but I just wanted some racetrack ambiance because I've missed out on it all weekend. All I've done is hear people have fun instead of having fun myself. So anyway, I ended up fixing or I thought I had fixed the lower radiator hose leak. I just tightened the clamp and that seemed to solve that. It bled perfectly fine. And I couldn't make the last session because I have an obligation on Saturday when I'm at the track. And then today, Sunday morning, I went to go start the car, and again, a river of water was flowing out of the car, and I obviously got under the car to figure out what it was. Same side of the car, but this time, because the lower part of the radiator hose was tight and sealed, the upper portion was taking all the pressure, I suppose. That's just, I don't know what other theory I could throw at it, but that was that. So I missed first session and first classroom meeting today on this morning because of that leak. Got that fixed. So now I have, not only are the clamps reoriented and super tightened, but I also have some safety wire as an additional measure to keep the hoses sealed and closed. This almost makes me want to go AN, but I feel like AN would be not necessarily above and beyond, but it's a very short hose, so I don't think it would work quite as well as I think it would. So yeah, that's that. Fixed that. Finally got out for the second session of today, and that was marvelous. Although, I was slow, so I gave a lot of point buys, which I'm not super proud of, but I gotta humble myself because I've got a year and a half worth of rust to wag off, and it's a whole new car, basically essentially because of the ECU. So I'm learning that and all whatnot, and gotta iron it out for the track a little bit. It's tuned great for the street, but it has nothing for the track, and all the high RPMs and high boost and major decelerations, all the track circumstances, it is not well suited for. And I'd much rather have it tuned for the track than tuned for the street. So it'll probably be drivable on the street, but that's whatever. I don't really care. So I got that data log. It was over boosting in fifth, which is a problem. It's kind of funny though, because after the closed loop tuning, what was solved were the high boost tunes, the E85 required ones, but now the low boost isn't able to survive, which is it's able to survive, it just over boosts, so it always cuts out and I can't make a full pull on it. So yeah, so I sent that log to my tuner, and I don't have him on retainer or anything, and he has his own life to live, so understandably he didn't get back. That's nobody's fault but my own, and the way the weekend is gone. So at least he got data. We could look at that and then come back out here next time and try to plan for Hyperfest, and hopefully things are a whole lot smoother going on. Also, two things to note here. So first, the EGTs are still not reading. So I can read the live data on the app itself, but when it comes to the ECU reading it, so it's all set up right there. But when it comes to the ECU reading the EGTs, there's something wrong with the can or whatever. So we're gonna have to figure that out and see if, I got to call Link again and see if they can figure that out. And then my second issue is I still have the blip module, so it's right there. I didn't change any of the wiring or anything, but when I push the brake and the clutch, it does not register. So the engine blip, the throttle blip is not there. So got those two problems to sort out, and then we'll be able to do something more, because right now all my tuner would be able to do is probably adjust the duty cycle of the boost solenoid, this bad boy right here, for the upper ranges of the rev range, and then once we get the EGT module figured out, he'll be able to more finely tune each cylinder for the proper temperatures, because we can't go air fuel. But I do have also the 4-channel EGT. Um, can't even think of what it is, module, if you want to call it that, for lack of better terms. I have that. It's just sitting on standby, and then I can grab all four of the all four of the AFR or O2 sensors, I should say. Figure out where I want to run all that stuff. Have that feed to the CAN bus as well, and then we will be set. But until then, I'm gonna head home, and hopefully, safe drive and everything like that. But yeah, kind of a disaster of a weekend, but overall, I guess I can't be upset because I defeated the gremlins that came up this time, and coolant temps only reached about 205 before whatever the car does to drastically shoot them down. And yeah, so it's not overheating like it was last time. I did get scared when it crept into 200s, but it didn't get anywhere even close to the 220s. So all in all, very happy. But until next time, y'all, I'll post obviously this one video of the session I got. I didn't even do a full session. I just went out there, did the warm-up lap, which happened to be a hot lap, and then one hot lap as well, and then I got off. I just wanted to get data, and I also didn't want to get in the way of everybody else, because everybody else had 5 runs on the track, so they were all warmed up and good to go. I was out there for my first session in 16 months, so I had a lot of nerve to get back, and I will say taking some of the corners were scary, and my heel toe skills are lacking, so that blip module plays a huge factor in how quickly I can go around track as well as the solenoid allowing me to stay within my boost parameters and not ignition cut every time in 5th. So yep, but until then, I'll be back in the garage here pretty soon. It's going back onto its natural habitat, onto jack stands, and yeah, be there for that story. But until next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the track video, and then yeah, I will see you next time. Until then, stay driven. Okay, yo. So going through this whole process, so just to give a little bit of a backstory on this. So this is the opening weekend at VIR a couple weeks ago, so I'm like way delayed on this, but it is what it is. So this is everybody else's 6th session. There was 4 on Saturday, and this is the 2nd on Sunday. And unfortunately for me, I was battling water leak issues the all of Saturday, and even on Sunday morning, I had some issues. So it was really disappointing and frustrating. But I got a Band-Aid fix for this weekend, so all was good there. Um, and in all reality, the weekend was just going to be for data anyway, to figure some things out. Um, but unfortunately, also you can't figure things out when you don't have data. You kind of need data to find the problem and to make changes to resolve any issues that are found. So, like I said, it's the 6th session for everybody else. It's my first session. So even with it being 17 to 18 months after my last track session, it's like everybody's way fresh just because they've had 5 other reps before this weekend alone. So I'm going out there on a whole new setup after 17 or 18 months of a break, and so basically, I feel like I'm green again, and it's hard because this is also HPD 3, so quite advanced people going out there. The car can handle it. I just need to get my confidence and my comfort level back up. I know the track very well, but even with knowing the track, having over a year's worth of a break of any sort of track driving whatsoever, just it puts me at a in a discomfort zone. So I still need to get out of it. So with that being said, I give a lot of point buys, whereas before I was getting a lot of point buys. So I was one of the faster ones on track last.
on my last outing. So I'm being humbled on this at this track event. So hopefully the next track event things will improve a little bit. Also, this time around, I do not have my blip module, and I know some people might consider that cheating, but I don't really care. It helps with the fact that I unashamedly will say that I have no heel toe shifting skills. So having the blip module take care of that helps out a tremendous amount. So I'll have to figure that out and or figure out how to do that on the ECU itself. So the we also started under green conditions. So everybody else, like I'm on cold tires, everybody else is on cold tires, but their tires are also warming up faster just because they've been out on track more over the weekend. So um, I have that disadvantage as well, but so it is. But here is the 2 laps. So enjoy yourselves.